Hello, welcome to the channel and welcome back to Resurwreck Autos HQ. So guys, it is Friday. Made it through another week in the workshop. Very, very busy. I've got cars outside lining up, ready to be fixed and ready to be sorted. One very, very interesting project. It's a customer's car. It's not mine. But timing belt snapped. Can we sort it for her? So that is coming up next week on the channel. But for today, guys, we are going to try and sort out this Citroen C3 issue problem. It's just, it's starting to become a little bit of a problem. Let me bring it in and then I'll explain exactly what's going on, because not everyone is a mechanic and not everyone that's watching understands and knows straight away what's going on, what's got to be done, or what's needed to be done. Do you see what I mean? So I have to explain things, and that's why I do, we call it waffling on, but it's basically explaining in as much detail as we can so people can understand. Not everyone can understand things like some people, and some of the comments make me laugh. Like literally, I'm explaining what's going on, explaining how to do things, like explaining what's got needed to be fixed and stuff like that. And I've got in the comments, too much waffling, just get on with it. Like he thinks everyone is on the same level, and they're not. They just ain't. And you have to. Yeah, these people don't get it. They just don't get it. So, so there's going to be a little bit of waffling, but it needs to happen. I need to talk about it. So let's get it in. Let's go for it, guys. Let's see if we can deal with this. Let's do this. Right, okay, guys. I've got the Citroen C3 on the ramp. So, yeah, quickly, let's just go over what's happened. Right, so in the last video, we did the timing belt, finished off the service, and then we took it for an MOT. Everything was running smooth, perfect, lovely. You can see that in the video. It was running well. And I actually went back and checked to make sure it was, and it was. It even ran well from here to the MOT centre. No issues whatsoever. Then when I brought it back, no problems. Right, driving back, no issues. I left it outside the front for about a day, okay? And then I needed to move it. And I thought the car was done. I haven't even cleaned it to take pictures yet because it was at the front ready to do that. So I moved the car, and as I moved the car, it just started and run terrible. Like really, really terrible. So I'm going to quickly do it because I actually pushed the car in here because I was a little bit concerned that something has damaged inside the engine and something's happened, basically. So let me just start it to show you. It won't even start now, look. So can you hear it? It's spluttering, misfiring. You hear it? It's running rough, really rough. Running rough. So, something has gone wrong. Now, the only thing, I actually drove this car around for 100 miles with no issues whatsoever. It did not miss a beat. It was absolutely perfect. The only thing that's changed from then till now is that timing belt. So really, that is going to be my first thing. I'm going to get the scan tool. I'm going to scan the car just to see what it says. If it brings up anything, I'll show you what it says. But I think it's related to that timing belt. I really do. Because that's the only thing that's happened between me driving it around for 100 miles and me taking it for an MOT and bringing it back and putting it outside the front is the timing belt. So it could be that it's maybe jumped to teeth, or it's maybe I've put it in the wrong position. I don't know. I'm just guessing, basically. So we really need to strip it down and check the timing to make sure that that's all lined up, bottom and top. That's for sure. Bloody annoying. Really annoying. It is really annoying, but I'd rather it happen now than happen when I sell it. So, I want to make sure, and that's why we, drive it around for a while, check it, make sure, and do the snagging work and just snag the hell out of the car before we get rid of them. Not like other people where they just don't care about the cars and they just kick it out the door and hope for the best. Well, yeah, that's not my way, basically. So, yeah, I'm going to set you up. I'm going to scan the car and then we're going to strip it down. It's pretty quick. It don't take that long to get this timed up actually and check. The longest part is getting this air intake off the top. And then you can get to the cam cover quite easy. But it's got to be done, guys. And we're going to do it right now. So let's get cracking. I'll set you up. Let's do this. Right, okay, guys. So, the first thing, scan the car to see if it gives us any indication as to what is going on. And the only thing that's coming up is this here. That's it. That's the only thing that is coming up on the car. Not even, I would have thought it might have come up engine ECU. Because obviously it does sound like it's misfiring, but maybe not. Or I haven't run it for long enough for the computer to pick up that it's misfiring. It says turn the ignition off. Then on. Then press OK. Yes, we've done that. Trouble codes. And that's it. That's all it's given me. Look. Can you read that? That is not helping. that is not helping me at all. So, I'm going to go back to basics and see, I think, like I said, the only thing I've changed is the timing belt. So, is that wrong? Let's get set up. We've got to check to make sure this is timed correctly. It's very, very strange because when I'd done the timing belt and drove it to the MOT centre and drove it back, and whilst the MOT was going on, the engine was running and idling and ticking over for the period of the half hour or whatever it was, them doing the MOT. So all this time, no issues until I got back. Unbelievable. So let's get set up. Yeah, let's just see if the timing is correct on this. So let's do this. Right, okay, guys. So, let me give you an update because I've come across something. I've come across something, and I'm not sure. I think I'm going to continue, but let me just explain what I found, and then I'm going to continue to see and check to make sure this engine is actually timed up correctly, because I've obviously taken off the intake. You know that. I've had to support the engine with a jack, take the engine mount off there, so that I can drop the engine down to swing around the intake to get it out. So there is a little bit of stripping down, but we're getting close now. All I've got to do now is take the cam cover off, put the engine mount back on, lift the car back up, go underneath, pin the underneath, and then put the clamp on top of the cams to check to see if the timing's correct. But I have just seen something that may be the cause of our problem. So I'm taking off the bolts, and I noticed down there is clear. You can see, yeah? The spark plug, clear. And that one is clear. This one, however, can you see that? Let me just take it up a little bit. There's something in there. Possibly could have been stopping the injector from going right down. I've checked the inside of the injector. This is number 3. If it might be number 1, don't know, because it's a Peugeot engine. So that because it's French, they might start 1, 2, 3, but we go 1, 2, 3 that way from the actual timing belt. But I've checked inside, and there's no damage to the inside of that injector. So it goes down all right, but yeah, it goes down all right and touches in the correct position. There's no sort of gap, but is it? This could be our problem. This could be the problem. It's still in there. Look, down the side there. Don't know what it is. Don't know if it's metal. I don't know, but that could be our issue. The funny thing about it, the computer was not telling me that it was misfiring on cylinder 3 or 1, whichever one it was. The computer wasn't telling me that. So, yeah, if it did, if the computer turned around and said you've got a misfire on cylinder 1, 2, 3, whatever cylinder, I wouldn't have done this, and I would have gone straight to that and checked it, took the injector out, and I know I've seen it, removed that thing, put the injector back in, and then you never know. It could have been just that all along. It does make sense because it's ticking over and running rubbish. So it does make sense that's kind of what's happened. But I've got this far. So what I'm basically turning around and saying, guys, there's no point putting it all back together, removing what's out of there, and then checking it. I think we should carry on. Check the timing, whip the cam cover off because we're there. We'll check. It's worth a check now. We've got this far. So I'm going to continue. But fingers crossed that all it was there's stopping the injector from going down and causing a misfire. Because it did sound rough, and it did feel like it was misfiring. So you never know. That could all it be. Hopefully, mate. Hopefully, a quick fix. But let's keep going. Let's check the timing now and make sure that that's still okay and good. So let's do this. Right, okay, guys. I've got it stripped down and I've locked the bottom and I've got the top end in the correct position. I'm trying to gauge it by this here. You can see that obviously it gives you positions where it should be in certain places. Like you've even got a little mark here, and you've got these two marks here and the back one there, and these two should be facing the correct way, which I've got to be honest, it is. That these here, these line up, the markings line up. There's a mark just there, the marks on the pulleys as well, they're there. They all line up okay. But this bar will not go down flush and flat with the head. There's a gap there. So basically what I did was I took it off, took it apart to see which one was flat. So if I did that, it's flat on the back edge like this, and then I take that one out, put this one in, and now it's flat. So this one's now flat. So I think this one is in the correct position, and it's this one that's slightly out. Not a lot, but I think it's enough, just enough, to start giving me some issues when it comes to running. So I think that's where our problem is. The trouble is I've got to work out how am I gonna move that, because these two, technically these two are in the correct position. So if I move this one, or is it just one tooth out on this side, on this belt, rather than this one? I really don't know what to do at the minute. I think I might I'm going to speak to someone about this to see what he says. Just to get a bit of advice, just to see what he says, and then I'll come back to you. But I might be just maybe stripping it down to get the belt off, just to see the movement and the gap. I think that's where we are. Because these two, they've actually got a spring inside these. There's a spring in there, so maybe it's sprung over the wrong way, and that's what the problem is. But let me speak to a couple of mechanics, and I'll come back to you in a bit. So bear with me, and I'll see. Oh, before I do go, that little bit of foil or whatever it is that's what was sitting in there. So it wasn't. I thought it was a bit of metal, but it wasn't. It was a little bit of paper foil. So that really is not going to affect the injector connecting to the unless it's giving it a short because it's foil. I'm just guessing, but I don't think that's our problem. I think this is our problem where it's not timed correctly. It's not sitting correctly. The cams, the exhaust cam, this side, I think is in the correct position. That intake cam, I think that's very, very slightly out. And if I move this cam in its position now, it moves this cam because these two belts are connected. So I think we need to take the belt off and start again. But I'm going to check with a couple of mechanics first, guys, and then I'll come back to you and let you know the results. So yeah, very, very strange. But bear with me, guys, and I'll see you in a bit. Right, okay, guys. So, after speaking to a couple of mechanics on the phone, just getting their advice, just seeing what they thought about things, they both, kind of said the same thing. Listen, you're going to have to go back and basically take it all apart and start again. So that's what I've done. I've basically done. I've taken it back apart. The bottom end's locked. I've taken this apart in here as well. I haven't removed the crank bolt, but I have removed it up from up there, the pulleys and stuff, the tensioner and the idler pulley, just to give me a little bit more slack when it comes to this. And then basically just got a spanner. They said get a spanner and then just sort of loosely sort of turn it until you can get the locking tools in place. So yeah, that's exactly what I've done. Right, okay, sorry about that, guys. Someone come to the door, wanted a quick chat. So I had to cut off there. But what was I saying? Yeah. So I spoke to the two mechanics and they've basically told me exactly the same thing. Just release it all, release the tension, lock it, get it back to where it was, and see, if you can basically do the reverse and put it all back together and see if that changes anything. One of them did say it's possible that it's just a tooth out, maybe, or it's just something that's very slightly out. It's obviously out because that was sitting high. That couldn't touch, but now it does. See, it's touching the bottom now. Both sides, it's flat. So I've moved the cams backs and forwards so that piece there slots down and locks the two cams in place. So I'm quite confident now, well, I was before, but, I'm quite confident now that that's locked and the cams are in the right position. Whether or not, as the engine's running, those springs in there changes it very slightly, I don't know. Or it could have jumped. It could have jumped to teeth. We just don't know, do we? So, yeah, all I can do is basically do that, put it all back together, and then just see if that makes any difference when it comes to the running. So that is what I'm going to do, guys. I'll set you back up. Let's get this now back together, boxed up, and let's see, if it's any good. So let's do this. Right, okay, guys, we are completely boxed up. Everything's been put back. All the plugs have been put in. Yeah. I haven't tried this yet. I haven't tried it. So, let's just turn the key and just see what happens. That's all we can do. I've checked the oil. I've checked pressure. Another mechanic did mention to me that it might be the DPF that's blocked, and it's not letting it's only letting the actual exhaust fumes out a little bit, and it could be that the DPF's blocked. So that might be an issue or a problem that it's got. It has got 114,000 miles on it, so it is really getting up there when it comes to the miles. But I don't know. Let's just give it a go, and let's just see if that is going to make any difference. Right? Okay. I know I'm laughing, but so let's try. Maybe it's oil pressure. Because that actually sounds all right now. That's actually ticking over really well. Sorry, yeah, I'm a little bit shocked that is actually ticking over well now. That's weird, isn't it? That is very, very strange. Maybe it's oil pressure. Oh, I don't know, innit? It could be a number of things. Let me see if there's any lights on the dash. Right, we're getting no warning lights on, and there's no fluttering when it comes to the actual the idling as well. It's just sitting there now where it should be sitting, and it revs up okay. That revs up and goes back to where it should be on the idle really well. So has that solved it? Oh my God, this car though. It's just one of those cars where you think, I can sell it like it, but can you trust it not to come back with any problems or issues, you know? It's one of those cars. But at the minute, you can hear it. It's just ticking over nicely, really, really well. I think I'm going to have to do another 100 miles in it, and I just put some more miles on it, just check it, and then just see how it goes over the next few days. But we're back to the point where it was before I even done the timing belt. We're back to running and ticking over. Really nice. So, yeah. I want to celebrate, but I don't want to celebrate too hard because I feel like it's going to, any second now, it's going to go back to what it was doing before, you know? I don't know. What do we think, guys? I know a lot of people are going to go, get shot of it quick, get shot of it, go, go, go. But that's not really my conscience won't let me rest. So I've definitely got to put some miles on this car to check it, I think. But there is this catalytic converter, get my words out, you can actually clean. You remove that socket there, sensor, remove that sensor, spray a load of catalytic cleaner down there, and it'll clean it out. So maybe that's going to help it. I don't know. Maybe I should get some catalytic converter cleaner. You can actually put it in the tank, can't you? It's called Cataclean, and you pour it in the tank, and it mixes with the fuel, and apparently helps it sort of clean the catalytic converter. Maybe it just needs a little bit of that, maybe. I don't know. I really don't know what to do in a minute. So, yeah. But it's a lot better than what it was. Well, it was running rough before, wasn't it? So, let's turn it off. Try it again. Straight up, look. Straight up and idling perfect. Maybe, you know, maybe I've just tweaked something on the timing maybe a little bit and it's helped it out. I don't know. But I'll be definitely driving this around, guys. I'm not letting it go yet. I just can't trust it in a minute. But it is what it is. So that's it. Fingers crossed, we've done it. So that's going to be the end of today's video. It is Friday, guys. Have a great weekend. I will keep you updated with this car as I drive it around and put some miles on it and check it. But it's definitely, you know, a good idea to do that. It's not. I'm not kicking it out the door. I'm not going to send it to someone or sell it to someone, you know, because I don't know. just at a minute, I just can't trust it. Bad boy. But yeah. So that's it, guys. Don't forget, drop me a comment. Let me know what you think. Give the video a thumbs up. Have a great weekend. And I'll see you Monday in the next one. Thanks for watching. See you soon.